In a world of endless pings, scrolls, and distractions, one group found clarity by walking away from all of it. No phones, no followers, no noise, just silence. For over 1,000 years, monks have trained their minds in total discipline. Today, we chase hacks, habits, and dopamine detoxes. They chased nothing and found everything. You're watching The Discipline Theory, and this is how the monks rewired their minds, and how you can too. Before productivity apps promised quick results, before dopamine detoxes became trends, before the 5 a.m. club filled your feed with promises of success, there were monks, hidden in remote mountaintop monasteries, far from the noise, far from the scroll. They didn't chase hacks, they didn't check notifications, they rose before the sun, not to hustle, but to be still. They lived by ancient codes carved into habit over centuries, in silence, in surrender, in complete, deliberate presence. While the modern world teaches stimulation, they mastered something far rarer: focus, clarity, peace. Their secret wasn't a tool, it was a way of life, a sacred rhythm, a forgotten blueprint that modern minds desperately need to remember. Today, your attention is under siege. Every app, every ad, every algorithm, all designed to hijack your mind. You're not scrolling, you're being scrolled. The world pulls you into 100 micro distractions: likes, alerts, headlines, short bursts of dopamine that leave long shadows of emptiness. We scroll endlessly, yet feel more hollow. We multitask, yet accomplish nothing meaningful. Our minds are no longer ours. They're fragmented, exhausted, addicted to motion. We've confused movement with progress, stimulation with purpose. But monks, they chose another path entirely: stillness over speed, simplicity over stimulation, depth over dopamine. There's an old proverb: the man who chases 2 rabbits catches none. But what if you stopped chasing altogether? What if, instead of sprinting through every notification, you just stood still, long enough to hear your own mind again? What if you chose silence, not as an escape, but as a weapon, a defiant, deliberate act in a world that monetizes your distraction? Because the truth is this: chasing more will never lead to enough. Stillness will. And that is where real discipline begins. The life of a monk isn't rushed, it's designed. Every hour is shaped by ritual, every action soaked in quiet intention. They rise before the sun, not to catch up, but to slow down. Not for inboxes or errands, but for silence. The first hour, it belongs to stillness, to prayer, to breathing, to reconnecting with something deeper before the noise of the world begins. They eat in silence, not out of discipline but reverence. They don't consume entertainment, they consume the moment. They work with their hands, not to escape boredom, but to be present in motion. And when night falls, they don't scroll. They reflect. Scripture, stillness, surrender. No chaos, no clutter, just choreography. Behind all this simplicity lies a powerful structure. It's called a rule of life, a personal blueprint, created with intention, not forced, not imposed, chosen. It's not about motivation. It's not about hype. It's rhythm, order, simplicity. And here's the insight modern life keeps missing. When you remove 1,000 unnecessary choices, you reclaim something most people never feel anymore: freedom. Not the freedom to do everything, but the freedom to do what truly matters. You don't need a monastery to live like a monk. You don't need robes, chants, or stone walls. What you need is intention. Because monkhood isn't about where you are, it's about how you live. This is what we call monk mode, a modern path to ancient discipline, a stripped-down, sacred lifestyle that removes distraction, and replaces it with focus. Here are 3 timeless habits you can start today to reclaim your attention and realign your mind. 1. Sacred start. The first hour after you wake up sets the tone for your entire day. Most people give that hour away to scrolling, reacting, consuming. But monks don't start with noise, they start with stillness. So for the first 60 minutes, no notifications, no inputs, just breathe, stretch, read, write, reflect. This is your sacred start. Guard it like your mind depends on it, because it does. Second rule of 3. You don't need a never-ending to-do list. You need clarity. Each morning, choose just 3 high-impact tasks. These are your battles. Win them, and the rest is noise. Fewer tasks, deeper focus, more momentum. 3. Digital fasting. After 6 p.m., unplug. No doom scrolling, no DMs, no news rabbit holes. Your mind isn't built for 24/7 input. It's built for rhythm. So reclaim your evenings. Or go even further. Take entire weekends off-grid. Let your brain reset. Let your soul breathe. This isn't punishment. It's protection. These small shifts aren't just life hacks. They're a counterattack against distraction. And they might be the beginning of the most focused version of you. Modern neuroscience is only now beginning to uncover what monks have known for over 1,000 years. In a world obsessed with more input, they chose less, and science is finally catching up. Studies show that in silence, when stimulation drops and distractions disappear, something powerful awakens in the brain. The default mode network. It's not a system for reacting. It's a system for reflection, for insight, creativity, deep, uninterrupted thought. It's the part of the mind that only lights up when the world quiets down. And when you embrace that stillness, everything changes. You stop craving the next notification. You start noticing the now. The taste of your coffee, the texture of silence, the warmth of sunlight on your skin. Simplicity becomes satisfying, slowness becomes strength, but the transformation goes even deeper. These habits don't just change your focus, they change who you are. You stop living in reaction. You start living in choice. You become the kind of person who protects their peace, who honors stillness, who carves out space for depth in a world addicted to speed. Not just productive, but purposeful. Here's your challenge. 7 days, no shortcuts, no excuses, just monk mode in its purest form. 1. Wake before the sun, not at 8, not at 9. Before the noise starts, no snoozing, no scrolling, just discipline, right out of bed. 2. No phone for the first hour. Let your mind awaken on your terms, not Instagrams. Fill the space with breath, with presence, with purpose. Read, write, stretch. Own your mind before the world tries to rent it. Third rule of 3. Choose 3 meaningful tasks for the day and nothing more. These are your battles. Win them with depth, not hustle. 4th, digital fasting after 6 p.m. No social media, no mindless content. Your nights are now sacred space. Reclaim them. Read, reflect, walk, sleep early. Let your nervous system breathe. And most importantly, journal. Track what changes, not just in your productivity, but in your mind, the silence, the stillness, the awareness. Do this for 7 days. Live by sacred structure, not endless stimulation. See what shifts and ask yourself, who could I become if I never stopped? The monks didn't have gadgets. They didn't track their steps. They didn't chase trends. They didn't need to. They mastered discipline through silence, through stillness, through sacred repetition, until distraction lost all power. And what they built wasn't just structure, it was freedom. Maybe it's time we remember what they never forgot. You've been watching The Discipline Theory, where ancient wisdom meets modern mastery. If this message spoke to you, don't just like, don't just watch, subscribe, and step deeper into your own discipline. The next chapter is waiting, but only if you're ready to live it.